We have a trade in the NBA between the Denver Nuggets and Washington Wizards, and while it's not a Woj bomb, it's still a pretty interesting trade. So before we get into all that, man, I'm going to be quite honest, it's probably going to be a double, maybe even a triple upload day because so much stuff is happening with NBA free agency starting tomorrow. But keep in mind, man, I can make 2, 3, 4 videos a day, but I simply cannot grow this channel without you, my friend. So I humbly ask, please hit that subscribe button if you are here. I greatly appreciate it, man. It means so much to me. And yes, also on my second channel, Extra Crispy, I will be streaming on Thursday from roughly 4 p.m. to 6:37 p.m. Eastern Time, doing an NBA free agency tracker. So enough of that. Let's talk about this trade here, man. Okay, so this is from Shams. I actually said Woj earlier. Shams was the first one to break this, saying that Denver is nearing trading Monte Morris and Will Barton to the Washington Wizards in a deal for KCP, that's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Ish Smith. And the first thing I think off my mind is what a bad trade for the Denver Nuggets. I understand why they did the trade, kinda, but I don't think it's a great trade. So let's look at it from the Denver Nuggets point of view. They traded Monte Morris, who I think is one of the better backup point guards in the NBA. Will Barton, who it just seems like that dude was going to be on the Denver Nuggets for the rest of his life. For a point guard, Ish Smith, that, yes, has starters experience, but I think is kind of worse than Monte Morris. I mean, not like way worse, but like a tier below him. And then, KCP has the championship with the Lakers, but I think Will Barton's a better player, right, man? So why exactly would they do this? Well, you look at their team right now, obviously Jamal Murray was out for the majority of, he's out for all of last season, and that allowed for a larger role to be given to Bones Hyland. And Bones Hyland was amazing, man. I thought he was a really solid player. I actually have his stats real quick here. We'll talk about the stats of all these players as we kind of go through things here, man. So yes, Bones Hyland, wherever he is at, where we at, Bones? Okay, Bones played 69 games, and the man averaged 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists as a rookie, guys. I mean, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. I could see with Jamal coming back being like, okay, Monte's cool, but we want to give this bigger role to, Bones Hyland, and Ish Smith being like our veteran, still available if needed, but third string point guard, I think kind of works out. So yeah, I'm a fan of that, I suppose, like a larger role to Bones. Nothing wrong there, but let's look at the actual players that were traded. So Will Barton, on the NBA season, he did play 71, man, I got all these, 71 games on the season, and he did average about 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists per game. Now quite frankly, he's just going to take KCP's minutes on the Washington Wizards, but I also do look at some of that depth on the Washington Wizards team. They have a lot of forwards, man, and obviously having Bradley Beal as the starting shooting guard, he takes some of the majority minutes at that position. So I'm curious how the rotation's going to work here. I don't think the Washington Wizards are done making moves. Monte Morris might end up being the starting point guard, but I really think he's probably going to end up being the backup, and they're going to try to do some type of play out there, try to consolidate the roster to some extent, because quite frankly, man, this trade made them better in certain circumstances, but I still think there's work to be done here. And speaking of Monte Morris, who exactly are they getting out of him? Well, he played 75 games this previous season, started 74 with Jamal Murray being out, and he averaged 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. One thing about Monte Morris, too, is that he doesn't really turn over the basketball. He's very good about that, man. That's one of my favorite things about him, especially when he's in a backup point guard role, is just that, when you're a bench player, you have to have that impact in limited minutes, and Monte Morris has seemed to always be able to do that for the team. But so let's compare that to the players that were traded from the Denver Nuggets. So here we go, man. I got the Wizards pulled up. So KCP on the season played 77 games, averaged 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists per game. I think he's going to fit in perfectly with that Denver Nuggets squad. Do I think he'll be the starter? I mean, he very well could be, I suppose, but I don't know, man. I guess that championship experience has something to say about it. I still think Will Barton is the better overall player, but KCP, as far as a specialty guy, 3-and-D, I think that's kind of what the Denver Nuggets kind of wanted anyway, so I'm cool with it. And then Ish Smith, as I like to call him, Deep Dish Ish, because this is my dude on the Detroit Pistons, a while back. He played 28 games for the Washington Wizards, 65 games in total as he was on the Charlotte Hornets to start the season. And yeah, on the Wizards, average about 9.5 assists per game. Overall, though, like, I guess it's probably better to look at his, like, career stats. It'll probably give you, like, a better idea. But it's roughly around his, 2022 stats anyway. So, yeah, about 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists per game. Ish Smith is cool, man. He's cool. Can get to the basket. He's one of those guys that can kind of be like a spark for you and everything. I think very much so, Jamal Murray and not knowing exactly what's going on with him, I think it's a good opportunity to bring in a guy like that to the team. But, yes, I don't know what the contract situation here. I'm not going to lie. Will Barton, I think, gets paid around $17 million. I could be wrong about that. I think Monte Morris signed a contract a few seasons ago, giving him around 12, 13 million, something along those lines. So I don't know if it's really a case of, just like cap and everything like that, where they're simply trying to save money, and this is the way to do it, and try to get some specialty guys and, the right players around Jokic and everything along those lines. That's probably what they're doing here, man. But, yeah, so let me go, because what happens is I always stop recording these videos. I'm like, okay, guys, peace out, my friends, and then, like, something else happens. So let's see what else is going on here real quick. In the NBA, we have tons of things to talk about, man. I'm probably going to do another video later on tonight because I know they were talking about Julius Randle being on the trade block and everything for the New York Knicks, so that definitely could be something that we do here. But yeah, so I'm trying to think about, like, my rankings and where I put both teams after this trade. The Washington Wizards, I still think they need to figure out their point guard position. You got Beal on the team. They just drafted Johnny Davis, too. I kind of assumed that Johnny Davis was going to kind of get the minutes that maybe KCP would have been getting last season and everything, but he might be a few seasons away now because of that. I don't know if he was more of an insurance policy because of Bradley Beal, and maybe they're like, okay, well, if Beal decides to stay, then we can package Johnny with maybe Daniel Gafford and, I don't know, Kyle Kuzma and bring in a starting caliber point guard to the team. I know another player I've been kind of interested in the Wizards going after is maybe like a Tyus Jones. I think that would be a pretty, like, solid, maybe not game-changing rotation between him and also Monte Morris, but at least you would get some consistency, and I think that's kind of what the Wizards have lacked at the point guard spot probably since Gilbert Arenas. Nothing against John Wall, man. John Wall was fantastic, but even he had lots of injury issues and things like that. Spencer Dinwiddie, I didn't really think worked on the Washington Wizards. I've talked to a few Wizard fans, and it seems like the consensus is that you all really kind of liked Russell Westbrook, so maybe it's a trade for that. Maybe they bring Russell back on the team. Maybe you flip Will Barton, and it would be kind of funny if Kuzma went back over there. I don't really see nothing like that happening. But, yeah, the Wizards, with Beal, I think if he can stay healthy, playing team, I think they can definitely pull that off. I think it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. No guarantees. A lot of things have to go right, but I think it's possible. Denver Nuggets, I think it was addition by subtraction. I think having more Bones Highland is going to be a really good thing for this team. I think having KCP and maybe being less ball stoppage or, need to create my own shot and play off others, maybe because compared to like a Will Barton is, I think it could be good for the Denver Nuggets. Assuming they stay healthy and everything, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, they're going to be in the running for top 5 seed, maybe higher than that in the Western Conference. What do you guys all think, man? Let me know what you all think about this trade in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.